Now here with all the latest stories of the day, it's the ITV News.
A glorious end to the Olympic Games for Team GB.
We're watching British Olympic history as Jason Kenny takes the title.
Jason Kenny claimed a stunning victory in the cycling to become Britain's most decorated Olympian.
I kind of felt like I had nothing to lose and just put my head down and went for it, really.
British athletes won 2 golds today before the closing ceremony of an Olympiad like no other. Also ahead. Fleeing the flames under a sky turned red, wildfires still rage in Greece. Another Afghan city falls to the Taliban as criticism mounts of the US decision to withdraw. And tears of the superstar. Lionel Messi confirms he's leaving Barcelona.
This is ITV News with Geraint Vincent.
Good evening. Staged in the midst of a global pandemic, the Tokyo Games presented challenges to the athletes that they could never have expected. And yet, still they delivered so many brilliant moments. And for Team GB, another remarkable performance. Britain's most successful female athlete, Laura Kenny, carried the Union flag at the closing ceremony after her husband, Jason, became the most decorated British athlete in Olympic history, sprinting to gold in the cycling. And in the boxing ring, the Welsh fighter Lauren Price became the new middleweight champion. Our sports editor, Steve Scott, reports on an extraordinary Games and Team GB's stunning finish.
A fond farewell from Tokyo to the watching world, a traditional light show, followed by a very modern one, sprinkling some stardust on the athletes below in the stadium. Athletes who between them have lit up these games, confounded COVID and given everyone a lift. Laura Kenny carrying the flag for Team GB on a last day when her husband rode his way into British Olympic history.
Jason Kenny takes the title.
He left it late, but after victory in the Keirin, Jason Kenny has captured his 7th Olympic gold, the only British athlete to reach that milestone. By his own exceptional standards, it's been a disappointing week for Kenny, but today more than made up for that.
I kind of felt like I had nothing to lose and just put my head down and went for it, really. It was such a long way. I felt like the last lap took me about half an hour. But yeah, I got there in the end and couldn't believe I crossed the line on my own still.
There will be mixed emotions in the Kenny household as a battered and bruised Laura finished outside the medals in the women's Omnium, thanks in no small part to a huge crash in the early part of the race. That blow tempered, of course, by a record-breaking gold earlier in the week and the thought of a young son at home in the UK, just desperate to see his mum and dad again. Team GB's final medal of these games came in the ring, and what a way to finish. An explosive gold for middleweight Lauren Price. She has lightning in her gloves and quick silver feet across the canvas and was too hot for her Chinese opponent.
Winning the World Championships, European Games and Commonwealths, I had one more to get, and yeah, I'm just over the moon that I went out and performed today and got the win. It's been a dream of mine since I was 8 years of age, so to tick that off the box and be on top of that podium today is a dream come true.
They might not have quite matched Rio's medal tally, but their boss believes this is the best ever British Olympic team because of the challenges it faced and the success in so many sports.
24 disciplines that we've medalled in, more than any other nation. And I often talk about how this is the most sophisticated high performance system in the world, bar none. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. 24 disciplines delivering medals, 18 sports delivering medals. There is genuinely something for everybody.
Back in the stadium, it was time for Tokyo to hand the baton to Paris. And for Paris to show the type of welcome that awaits in 2024. Tokyo's time had come and gone, a final flicker, and it was done. The city staged a Games to remember, a Games against the odds, and a Games the like of which we will never see again. There'll also be a Games remembered for breakout events like BMX and skateboarding. They'll be remembered for athletes finally finding their voice on issues beyond sport, most notably Simone Biles. But they should be remembered most for their Japanese hosts, who in a state of emergency have put on a flawless home Games without all the usual benefits that come with that. Steve Scott, ITV News, Tokyo.
Let's have a look now at how it all finished on the medals table. The United States are at the top with 39 golds altogether. China were closely behind with 38, and then the host Japan, third. Team GB finished in fourth place, collecting 22 golds and 65 medals overall, matching their tally in London 9 years ago. The Russian Olympic Committee team was fifth. And to the rest of the day's news now, and British firefighters have arrived in Greece to help fight wildfires, which are continuing to spread out of control. In dramatic scenes, hundreds of people have been ferried from the island of Evia, where the blaze is engulfing homes. Mark Mallet has the latest.
With enormous flames that reach towards the sky and pillars of billowing smoke and ash that follow, the fires on this, the country's second largest island, stretch from coast to coast, helped by bone-dry conditions caused by the most protracted and intense heat wave for 3 decades. Scores of homes and businesses on Evia have been destroyed. Entire forests have been lost. This man tries to extinguish some of the flames as they start to encroach on towns and villages. It's a futile effort, though. The wildfires have been devouring anything in their way. On the ground and in the skies too, firefighters from neighbouring European countries battle to extinguish the blazes. UK firefighters are also heading out to offer whatever help they can.
Well, the images are devastating, and what we'd like to say is that, you know, our sympathies and our thoughts are with the Greek people and our firefighter brothers and sisters in Greece.
As firefighters arrive, islanders depart. Their possible escape routes have been unable to escape the flames, and so under an almost apocalyptic twilight, they flee in boats and ferries, not knowing when or what, if anything, they might one day return to. The scale of the devastation caused, including on the mainland, is becoming clear. This is an area north of the Greek capital of Athens. What were once homes, forests, cars, are now ash. This man's business survived the flames, others were less fortunate.
Πώς ερχόταν και ήρθε η αστυνομία, μας έδιωξε, παιδιά, ήταν ένα πράγμα φοβερό. Δηλαδή εδώ έπρεπε μόνο με φως να κυκλοφορήσεις. Είχε σκοτεινιάσει, είχαν σκοτεινιάσει τα πάντα.
Greek and European officials have blamed these wildfires on climate change. For now, extinguishing the flames is the #1 priority. Only that will halt this trail of destruction, which one Greek official has described as a biblical catastrophe. Mark Mallet, ITV News.
Taliban fighters made gains in the north of Afghanistan today in the latest blow to government forces there. They've seized control of Kunduz, the 4th provincial capital to fall to the insurgents in less than a week. The offensive has gathered momentum in recent days before the US military pullout is completed at the end of this month. Our political correspondent Carl Dinham has more.
After heavy fighting, during which the central market was set ablaze, the Taliban appear to have taken Kunduz. If they really control this strategically important regional capital and their flag has been seen flying there, it's a significant defeat for the government in Kabul. It's also a concerning moment for the women of Afghanistan, who've seen access to education and other improvements to life since the Taliban were last in power 20 years ago. Those who have taken high-profile roles already face death threats.
We are worried. We are really worried when they are able to burn or put on fire a big and beautiful city like Kunduz. Now it's like kind of weird. It makes us like to be worried about ongoing conflict.
The security forces, so extensively trained by the West, appear to have left Kunduz in a hurry. This Taliban video purports to show abandoned vehicles in the police compound there. The West is still supporting the government in Kabul from the air, but that carries its own risks. The Taliban say that in Lashkargah and Helmand province, a school and a health clinic were both hit by airstrikes. 4 provincial capitals have now apparently fallen in less than a week to Taliban forces emboldened by the US withdrawal. They are still a long way from controlling the whole of Afghanistan, but for now it is the Taliban offensive which has the momentum. Carl Dinnan, ITV News.
Back home and in Scotland, nearly all COVID restrictions will come to an end from tomorrow. It'll mean that the legal requirement for social distancing and limits on gatherings will be removed. And as in England and Wales, all venues will be able to reopen. However, some protective measures, like the use of face coverings indoors, will remain in place. And finally, for years, he's brought Barcelona fans tears of joy. But today, in front of his family, Lionel Messi himself broke down as he made an emotional farewell to the club he's called home for his entire career. The footballer told a news conference that he didn't want to leave, but could now end up at Paris Saint-Germain. Stuart Silvers has the story.
In the end, it was no surprise. But when the moment finally came, Lionel Messi couldn't hold back the tears.
Es muy difícil esto para mí, después de tantos años, de hacer toda mi vida acá. No estaba preparado.
One of the world's greatest ever sportsmen, struggling to compose himself as he said farewell to Barcelona, the club he joined as a 13-year-old more than 2 decades ago. Supported here by his wife and young family.
En el campo, poder escuchar una última ovación de ellos.
And there was plenty to cheer. 10 league titles, 4 Champions Leagues, among 34 trophies, an incredible 672 goals. 6 times World Player of the Year, the list goes on. But as so often with modern football, what derailed it all was money. The Spanish league salary cap meant Messi was simply too expensive to keep.
De mi parte también hice todo lo posible para quedarme, porque quería quedarme.
A standing ovation to finish from the assembled press and officials. Messi is now ready for talks with the French champions Paris Saint-Germain, the end of what could be the greatest club career of all time. Stuart Silvers, ITV News.
And that is all from us this evening, from all the weekend team. Good night.